Hi everybody, greetings. It's Scotty S3 Model Works. Greetings from Luna, from my new home in the Northeast. I'm in Leominster, Massachusetts, and I'm here, and that's Luna. Um, this is just a short intro, and I'll be uploading my vid that I shot back in September, and we'll talk about some of the stuff I did and a little bit about the move. And it's good to be back with you guys, and hope you're all well and good, and we'll begin shortly. Thanks for joining me on Scotty's Scale Studio. Good night, Luna.
Hi everybody, good evening. It's Scotty's Scale Studio. Um, it is September 24th, Friday. It's working on about 10 p.m. my time here in America, over on the West Coast. We're near it. Um, just wanted to bring you guys up to date briefly. I am filming this in September. You guys probably won't see it until October because I'm in the midst of a move, and of course priorities shifting. I still have some packing to do. We've been doing quite a bit, and we're getting there, but there's still things to be done. Um, but anyway, just wanted to bring you guys up to date on what I've been working on, and what I've been working on exclusively is my cyber hobby, or my Dragon Jagdpanzer 38 and 35th scale that I picked up at the IPMS Nats back in August. And it's a fun little kit. So I've got most of it out here in front of me. I finally finished my hand applied, well, it's a mix of airbrush and hand applied camo in a what I'm going to call a disruptive scheme. It is a three-color camouflage, but it is not the disc or the dot camouflage, but a mix of both. You'll see in a minute, and I'll try and explain it to you guys. And we will take a short look at that. But the gist tonight is I don't want to touch them without gloved hands because I have my white metal tracks over here ready to go. But because of the absence of hobby shops in my area, I don't have access to anybody that's got burnishing fluid immediately available. So I'm just trying to finish up my tracks and get this thing set and put away, and I'll finish weathering it and doing all that other stuff. But all that said, I wanted to experiment a little bit with DIY methods as alternatives for track blackeners, because being an old hazmat guy like I am, both fire service and in previous careers before that, I enjoy the extraordinary chemistry of ordinary things. So I've got three different things that I would like to try tonight. First up, because it's safest and easiest to do, is a product. It's basically a bathroom calcium lime rust and scale remover. It's called CLR. I have the kitchen version of it, which is a little less viscous than what I'll be using tonight, so I'm not expecting a great result with that, but I've got a few extra track pieces that I can throw in there and do that. So anyway, we're going to be trying the CLR. It's going to be applied straight. I do need to be careful with that one because it will give off some chlorine, and it's supposed to turn it a blackish color. So we'll see. And there was another recipe that I found online for a 50-50 mix of white vinegar and unscented or unodorized bleach, which is supposed to do a nice rusted effect color. That one's probably also going to give off a little bit of chlorine just because of the bleach, but it'll be less. The last one is the most dangerous one, and it's a 50-50 mix of muriatic acid and water. Muriatic acid, if you don't know, is used for pool chemical control, so I snagged a little bit out of the outside bin out there. That one's kind of nice because it's supposed to do a brown color, and you can stop the chemical process at any point in your track blackening process with just a cold water rinse. So I have everything set up right now, except for my chemicals, which I'll do one at a time, but you guys won't know the difference on the video here. But anyway, that's my that's my modus operandi tonight, and we'll see how it goes. I've got to go check on the pool. We're refilling it because it needs to be. We had to do a water exchange on it because, you know, anybody that has a pool knows that after a while, enough chemicals with evaporation and hot weather just kills water's ability to actually be water, and the chemicals stop working and you get things like algae and blah blah blah. But anyway, if you guys will hang with me, I'll get my chemicals set up, and we'll go through them one at a time. We'll do the CLR first, and then the white vinegar and bleach, and then the muriatic acid last. So hang tough. I'm Scott, S3 Model Works, formerly S3 Model Works, now Scotty's Scale Studio on YouTube. So hang tough, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I can, okay? Hi everybody, I'm back. Before we get started with the track blackening thing, I wanted to bring you guys down to the bench and I'll show you the model as it's completed to this point. Again, this is Cyber Hobby or Dragons repop of their 1/35th scale Jagdpanzer 38 tank hunter. So here we go. So, sorry, I'm gonna make a slight adjustment to my screen so I can see what the heck you guys are seeing. I hope, anyway. Well, here she is in all of her glory. I have the side plates off because I still have to set the sag on the tracks. And by the way, it's my first set of metal tracks, so I had nothing but trouble even with the Master Club tracks. I could not get the resin pins. Well, actually the resin pins fit just fine. The problem was I did not have a drill bit quite small enough to meet their extraordinarily tight tolerances. So I opted to pin the tracks together with brass wire, 0.51 inch, because I over drilled the holes a little bit. I think the smallest I could go was, I think the holes were supposed to be drilled at 0.046, and I think that the drill shank that I used was 0.49, so it's a little bit bigger. I was working earlier trying to get some of the pins and stuff out of the way and make them look clean, so I have everything in but the final link right now. You guys will see those. But and just to clarify, the tracks that I am going to blacken tonight, these are just test pieces to see if any of these are even worthwhile pursuing, and I'll do a little bit of internet debunk and see if any of these DIY processes actually work. And by the way, thanks to the folks on armorama.com, found their blog and forum, and this is where I found several of these. So thank you, appreciate that, guys. Anyway, here she is. She's got very basic decals on her, basically just the German crosses and the numbers. Should be the first vehicle, the third company of the 1st Battalion, I think, 131. I think that's how the German numbering ran. But anyway, it was essentially a very good kit. Went together very well. And sorry about that. So there's the single German cross on the back. I don't have any divisional markings on here because there weren't any in the kit. And as you guys can see, this is a mix of vertical red-brown stripes, green blotches, and a mix of the Dunkelgelb yellow on the green, and the green on the yellow, and then I did a little bit of red on both colors just to sort of set it aside a little bit. And my idea on this, with the vertical stripes specifically, and as you guys can see, I also did the vertical stripes on the front, but if you could picture this thing sitting in, let's say, a small stand of partially foliaged trees, like maybe at the edge of a farmer's field, or something that might be an island between fields that maybe they used as a visual marker when they were either letting the fields go fallow or planting them, was my idea. And I call it disruptive because this is very similar to the camouflage pattern in a way that I did on my BF-109G, whereas from the top it would look like a topographical map of, hey, you know, you're seeing trees. The dots and the green dots would represent different pieces of foliage, or possibly larger tree stands that might be viewed as just circles from the air. So as you can see, anyway, that was my idea on it. But there she is in all of her glory. I think I've got her done fairly well, but it is, you know, it is a 3-color camouflage. You know, I'm calling it disruptive because that's what I want to call it. It is a, like I said, the 3-color camouflage, but it is not the disc nor the standard dot camouflage. So I wanted to do something different with this one, and it looks like that's exactly what I'm doing. So anyway, let's press on with test number 1, which I already have set up. So as you guys can see, this is labeled very poorly CLR. This is the calcium, lime, and rust. You can see it's a very clear liquid. I'm not expecting great results from this, only because it has a lemon scent to it, and I think that's going to detract from its overall chemical process. But I'm going to play a little music while I do this, just to keep us all amused. That's Jethro Tull, Warm Sporen. For any of you folks who know what a sporen is, it took me a while to figure out what it was, but that's that little hand warmer that all the kilt wearers like to wear. Looks like they're wearing a, you know, it's basically an animal skin, but it's a hand warmer. So, I have one link. Let's see if I can get this all in sight for us. The tracks were basically just washed and toothbrushed with warm soapy water, and they've been drying for the last hour. So there it goes in. It's 11 minutes, 12 minutes after 10. So we'll leave that in and see what it does. I don't know how long it'll take, but again, like I said, I'm not expecting great results with that. So but as you guys can see, I don't see any chemical reaction going on with that at all right at the moment. But I would imagine that if you guys used the CLR, which is not the brand I'm using, this is the Bath and Kitchen Cleaner, so it's sort of like CLR, but it's not the heavy-duty industrial stuff that CLR usually is. Alright. Let me make a quick note here. So the CLR went in at 2212, And next we're going to do white vinegar and bleach in a 50-50 mix. So excuse me while I grab those chemicals real quick. So there you go. That's going to be white vinegar and bleach. I'll be right back. I'll be off headphones for just a sec. Now, these are going to be approximate because they're 50-50. Bleach I'm not afraid of, vinegar I'm not afraid of. Excuse my big old hands in front of the camera, but I didn't want to do this off camera. Okay, we've already got a little bit of oxidation action going on in there, so that's a good thing. Here is track number 2 going in. That one goes in at 2214. And just for reference, that is white vinegar, not apple cider vinegar or anything else, just white vinegar and bleach. So keep my chemicals separate over here. Now for this last one, this is muriatic acid, pool acid, 50-50 mix. Whew. Yeah, that stuff already gives off fumes just opening the damn can. Ooh. That's a little bit of an eye burner there. Alright. And just for reference, that muriatic acid and water is 50-50 mix, and the muriatic acid is 29% by volume. So it is an acid, don't discount that. I've had this stuff on my feet and my lower legs, and I gotta tell you, it burns like shit. And then after you stop the burning, it itches for about 3 weeks afterwards and leaves lesions on whatever it burns. So you do not want to screw with this stuff. Alright, there's some of my good distilled. You guys see that little bit of smoke rising off of there? Yeah, that's muriatic acid. I'm also going to do a larger section of track 2. This is a set of 7 or 8 that I did not put wires in, I just CA glued them together, so I'm sort of anticipating that it's not going to blacken very well around any of that. There's that one little single drop of muriatic acid just waiting there to drop and get on my skin. And let's see. The muriatic and water goes in at 10:17. Okay. So the CLR has been in there for 5 minutes already, and it has absolutely zero result so far. But let me get the tweezers out and give it a flip and see. Yeah, there's no color change on that. I'll give it another few minutes just to see. I can see a very mild discoloration going on in the white vinegar and bleach, but not enough to be impressive. The muriatic acid and water is supposed to only take just a very few minutes. But yet, I see no reaction on that either as well. But there's still a lot of bubble oxidation going on there in the cup. Maybe not a lot, but there is some. And again, just so you guys know, I'm doing this to see if any of these DIY options work for blackening the tracks. I might do a fourth experiment where I just do the muriatic acid straight at 29%. I may have added a little too much water to it, but I imagine if they do start to blacken, they'll probably start blackening fairly quickly. Excuse me. And then if I have any success at all tonight, I've got some. These are the spare tracks that are carried on the vehicle, on the spine and on the rear. So as you can see, I did these guys with brass pins in them. Come on, baby, focus up for me, please, please. Yeah, maybe you can see that, okay. Yeah, my mixture's starting to change color a little bit in the muriatic acid and water. And we got lots of bubbles, but no tarnishing just yet on the vinegar and bleach. And it looks like I also have Dickola on the CLR. So it's been almost 10 minutes on the CLR, about 8 minutes on the vinegar and bleach, and just 4 minutes or so on the muriatic acid and water. So I'll give them a little more time and see what they do. But anyway, I just wanted to touch bases with you guys and see what's going on. Do a little one-to-one howdy. How the hell are you guys? And what you've been working on type of thing tonight. So that's kind of what we're doing. So. Yeah, I was kind of surprised with the dragon kit. That's my first dragon kit. I think I have another in my stash, but it's already packed up and ready to go. This is the only one I have out. But it did go together very well, actually, and I didn't do any real modifications to it. I did add a little bit of power lighting to the convoy, the no-tech light in the front, and I did some texturing on some armor texturing on just this upright side and the front up to this main weld seam. Sorry, I'm showing you guys what I'm looking at. Anyway, I did my texturing just on the sides, on the side panels, and on the front from this weld bead on down. I left this one on the top. I did actually texture this area around where the Pac 39 gun sight manipulates, but I left all of the top plates, or the thinner armor, especially on the top and on the back. I think it's 20 millimeters on the side, 16, 14 on the top, and then I believe it's 60 millimeters in the front. The idlers look like crap because they had these three huge injector pen marks on them, and rather than spend the time to clean them up and make them, I did a little bit of research into how these things were manufactured with either, 4, 8, or 12 holes in them, and they basically just had less holes in them later in the war years because they were easier to manufacture that way, but they were manufactured in 3 different methods from what I understood, which was from flat plate, slightly concave dishes like what these are, and also highly angulated. There was one that was a very shallow concave, and then one that was quite a deep. I think those were the 12s, and you don't see those except on early production models, if I'm not mistaken. But the 2 pinch points that I've been running on getting this thing is that there isn't any super real easy way to do the slack adjustment on here. I think I got it correct. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 95 links, which was production standard for this tank, 95 links on each side, but it still looks a little bit too saggy for me. But I'm afraid if I push these idlers out anymore, it's going to look like they're so worn out that they need to be replaced, because basically the edge of this idler wheel should really be no farther than just past the edge of this road wheel. And I'm not sure if you guys can pick that up or not, but I actually did some chunking of the rubber road wheels down here, and I'm hoping it shows up a little bit more with weathering and when I do my oil paint rendering stuff, like Mike Rinaldi's been teaching me. Not personally, but just following his streams. Anyway, I'm hoping those show up a little bit. I might give them a little bit of gray dry brush just to see what they've been doing. Okay, so let me put the model away and we'll do a little bit more checking on the stuff. So I'll bring you back down to the bench, and the CLR has done nothing, kind of like I expected. So I'm going to drop this one in a cold water rinse and put that to the side and call that experiment done. That's been in for 12-15 minutes with 0 reaction. So if it hasn't reacted by now, I don't imagine it's going to do a great job of reacting. So give that a little bit of a rinse. Hopefully you guys can see some of the bubbles. This is the white vinegar and bleach. I still don't seem to be having much of any kind of a reaction there, although it does look slightly darker. But then again, these are, this is a DIY test. So We'll see. And that one has been in 14-ish minutes. Another little water rinse there. And I'm not sure if you guys can pick that out, but do you see how the muriatic acid in water is a bit darker than anything else? So that was the one I expected to have the best result with. But I still don't have any real track blackening going on. Not that I can see as of yet, at least side by side with the others, although it has darkened a bit. I may have to let those sit a while, but we'll see. So now that I've got this other one rinsed and dried, I'm just going to drop an extra link in there. We'll see what that guy does. Boy, my little iPod's playing a lot of Jethro Tull tonight. It must know that I like to listen to my Tull. So there it is. Alright, I'm going to take a short break and let this stuff sit for a little bit, and I'll come back and we'll might be close to concluding this test already. I was hoping to get a bit better of a result from that, but I'm going to go check on the pool again, and I'll check back with you guys in just a very, very few minutes, okay? Hey everybody, it's Scott. I'm back, and gonna try and sorry, just turning up my throat mic volume a little bit. I was reviewing my video and I was coming through a little muted, so we'll see where this goes. So anyway, it is now 11:18, so the muriatic acid has been in basically an hour and 1 minute. That's the muriatic acid, and 50-50 water. So I'll bring you down to the bench and show you. You'll be unimpressed. I am. So really the only thing you can see, and side by side, this on my left, your right, is straight muriatic acid, just 29%. This is going to be the final test to see if any of this works, and this is the 50-50 mix. But you can see there is a bit of color change in the liquid that has gone on here, which to me means that there is a bit of oxidation going on, but not to the point where it's really changing the color of the tracks any. So let me put that aside carefully, and I'm going to pull these others out and give them just a quick swish through my cold water bath and let them dry for just a sec. It's not really going to matter because this stuff is soluble with water. And I need to discard that. I need to discard all this crap. Okay. There it is. There's my fourth one. I knew I had 3 out there. So that's water. That's the muriatic. Whew. A little bit of fume stink going on here. Alright. So once again, This is pure muriatic acid at 29%, and this will be the final test to my internet DIY debunk. Now, I imagine, knowing chemicals and my experience with them, the way that they react, chemical reactions usually happen fairly quickly, so if they're going to happen at all, it certainly should not take an hour. And also, that muriatic acid that I'm using it's been out in the pool tack closet forever, so it may have lost its bite. So it's all an experiment. But whether you guys can see that or not, all of this is discoloring. You know, that thing, my Nemo rag, used to be that color. So you can see that's where I've been wiping my tweezers and keeping this crap from getting on my skin. So the chemical is still active to a degree. But obviously not to a great extent. Let's see if I can bring you guys down here just a little bit. I'll let you judge for yourselves. If you can see the 3 individual links on the bottom, let me see if I can pull this big piece up. Those are already getting a little bit darker than what they were comparatively against an unburnished piece. You guys can probably see just a hair of a difference there. But I imagine if I let those sit overnight, they might very well blacken up. We'll see. We'll see. And let me put my big piece back in. Put that safely out of the way. All right. I got a lot of chemical splash out here, so I'm gonna do a quick alcohol bath because I can. Like I said, I've had this stuff on my skin before and it's not pleasant, so just taking some extra precautions. How it's supposed to be. And just in case anybody was wondering, yes, I'm being safe. Just in case I do get a chemical burn, I've got my standard baking soda to hopefully counteract any of that. Which I know some people actually use their baking soda in conjunction with CA glue to get it to cook off quicker. And that does work. I'm not real efficient with it, and it's not one of my favorite techniques, but it's out there if you need it. So as you can see, those 3 bottom links continue to get a little bit darker. The larger section of track was out of the solution for I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes while I was showing you guys that other stuff. It's actually making me wonder a little bit because I did not rinse these smaller pieces, except for the one that was in CLR and the other one that was in the bleach and vinegar. But those 3 individual tracks are getting darker, but this larger one, I gave it a pretty significant rinse, and I'm wondering if I killed the metal's ability to be chemically changed when I stopped that chemical reaction with the water bath. Whew. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off real briefly because this stuff's getting real strong in here and it's late. I don't want to open up the garage, so I'm gonna take this shit outside and let it do what it's gonna do for the next as I finish wrapping up the pool. So I'll come back and I'll wind up with you guys and see you in a few minutes. Hey everybody, it's me again. Just wanted to bring you back for a final update before I head for bed, but I've had a change in plans. I'm going to let this stuff, it's stopped off gassing. As long as I don't mess with it, it doesn't create any additional oxidation. If it just sits, it'll just sit, but I am seeing a little bit of a difference in there. But what I did want to show you guys is that there is a chemical process going on here. While I was outside checking on the pool, these are the tweezers that I had been using, and can you guys see that gradation from about right there? You can actually see the diagonal of where I left it sitting in the cup. These are stainless steel Squadron. That's 2A stainless steel from Pakistan. Squadron tweezers. So there is a chemical reaction going on, but I don't think it's going to be enough to burnish these. But I am going to let them sit overnight and see what they do. And I'm going to take my tired rear into bed, and I'll follow up with you guys in the morning, and we will see if these things change color anymore. But just as a head up for you guys, this is, like I said, this is not a dedicated track burnishing fluid, but you can still see a little bit of a change in gradient on the 3 individual links that are down there as opposed to the larger link. So I'm going to flip them. Jesus, as soon as I put the tweezers in there, it started off gassing again. Probably because it's eating my 2A stainless steel off my tweezers. So anyway, but that is where this experiment is for this evening. I won't call it completely unsuccessful, but I don't think I'll be using any of these methods to blacken my tracks. I'll just have to wait until I get to my new digs and get set up. And it might be a month or so, before you guys hear from me, at least on my YouTube channel. Hopefully a little less. I don't think the house will take that long to get set up, but I will remain active in the groups that I am a member of, and I'll update you guys when I can. I'll let you know what's going on, and we'll come back and wind up this experiment, and I'll make my own conclusions. But you guys take care for now. Like I said, I'll follow up in the morning, and I bid you good night for now, and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay? Bye.